You are listening to the Car Pro Insider, episode number 4, where we're going to talk about what you do in your first 90 days at a new dealership and how it sets you up for success. Check it out. Hey, what's up? I'm Robert Wiseman, and I have helped car sales professionals from around the world sell more cars by building their personal brands, attracting high-quality car buyers, and becoming the go-to car guy or gal in their marketplace. So what does it take to become the car sales professional that people are lining up to do business with? This is the Car Pro Insider. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for hitting that play button. This is the Car Pro Insider Podcast. I am Robert Wiseman, and if you are in the car sales industry and you are looking to level up your game, really step it up, fourth quarter type, Michael Jordan, step it up, and you're looking for proven strategies, outside the box, creative, cutting edge ideas, and the latest tools and resources that are going to help you make shit happen and become the go-to car guy or gal, shout out to any of the ladies tuning in your marketplace, then you are in the right place. Again, I am your host, Robert Wiseman. This is episode 4 of the Car Pro Insider Podcast, my first solo album. And you might remember me from the Dealer Playbook podcast. You might have been following me for years. I've been around this community of automotive sales since like 2010, late 10, early 2011, and 12, 13, and on, right? I am ecstatic that you have taken the time to press this button. Thank you, everybody, for all the love, signing up, subscribing to the podcast, checking it out, writing me a review. If it's your first time here, do me that solid, write a review. If it's your second or third time here and you've been around me forever, man, listen, the biggest compliment you can give me is doing that. Helps the show out tremendously. Right? And if you want to catch up with me more, make sure every Thursday you check out on iTunes or at thehardcorecloser.com or on iTunes, subscribe to the Hardcore Closer podcast. That's with my man, Ryan Stuman. Now, my role is a little bit more behind the boards in that one, right? More of the production, the back end. But he's nice enough to bring me on the mic every now and then. Dude is insanely funny and creative and has a lot of hustle and a lot of info for you that if you like this, you're gonna love his podcast as well. So check that out, Hardcore Closer Podcast. Find me there on Thursdays, usually back end producer, Robert the producer, but again, I get a little bit of mic time here and there each thing, and I'm cool with that. I know how to play my role like a soldier. Anyway, this episode we are gonna dive into days 1 through 90 in a new dealership. Now, this is for if you're green, right? You're fresh out of the box, right? You're new to the automotive industry, your first opportunity in it, or if you're that seasoned vet that is bouncing around, and no shame in that. Listen, I respect the hustle. Don't worry about that. But what I'm saying is that, the situation, what's real is real, right? And you're that vet that's bouncing around from opportunity to opportunity, putting up subpar results, nothing that you can, really, want to write home about, nothing that really is worth staying. You haven't gotten dug in lately. That's cool. This is for you as well. Or if that's not you, right? Take a listen to this, see what you think, and share it with the new guy in your store, especially you sales managers out there. Give this to the new guys and get their mind right, get them on the right track, right? Because the more product they sell and the more money they make, bro, the more money you're making, right? The more product you're selling. That's the beauty of this game, isn't it? All right, so we're going to talk about that first 1 through 90, what you need to be doing. Now, this comes to me from my friend who I've worked with his brand and his business within a business in automotive, Mr. Charles Cannon, who is Houston, Texas premier BMW advisor, right? He hit me up and was complimenting me and congratulating me on the new show, and then also wanted to tell me, hey, bro, here's something you should talk about. What can somebody do as a green pea or even a vet when they're starting over somewhere else or they're starting fresh somewhere else? What can they do to get dug in and to be successful? And that's a great question. He knows that because I've talked to him passionately about that in the past. And that's something that I get asked all the time, right? So we're going to jump right into that because listen, man, this show is no fluff. It's just good stuff, baby. So we're going to jump in. Now, look, when I'm getting reached out to by car sales professionals like yourself, people new to the business or new to a dealership that have been in business before, they are always hitting me up, of course, in regards to things that I produce content on and why they find me when they're interested in branding and marketing yourself and generating your own leads as an individual salesperson, right? A lot of these guys, I try to tell them, it's like, listen, you're new there. You're just getting in. You do not want to be investing your time, money, and creativity, which it takes all three of those to produce this, right? To build your brand, to build your web presence, to drive your own leads. It takes all of those assets, which are some of your most valuable assets, right? In a business sense, not the most important thing to you in the world. So don't get, political on me, but it's money, time, and your creativity, your effort, right? It takes all of those. And quite frankly, if you're newer to the business, or you're switching stores, haven't been able to do much, been kind of, average results, all due respect, 14, 15 units, 10 or 12, whatever, you're bouncing around. Usually the major player that's putting up real numbers at a dealership doesn't leave and transition with his book of business and things like. Now, again, you could be the exception to that. And of course that does happen. But in most cases, let's be straight up, it doesn't, right? So you're always starting fresh. So you don't want to be investing those assets, your money, your time, your creativity, into generating you traffic, leads, and opportunities when, bro, you're not even fully prepared for these yet. You're not ready to handle that. And why do you want to practice on traffic and opportunities that you create for yourself, that you invest one or all of those assets into, creativity, money, and time, into producing to get you in front of people that you're just not ready to handle? You're just not. Now I'm going to go into why you're not ready to handle them, and is essentially means these things you need to do first within that first 90 days. And listen, that first 90 days, this 90-day thing can start at any time. You could have been in the business 90 days already. You could have been in the business 6 months already. You could have been in business 16 years. But if you ain't seeing the results that that are available to you in this business, right, that you're looking for, then this can help you. It doesn't matter when you put it in. In this 90 days, you know what? It can take 6 months, depending how patient you are and how particular you are and how calculated you are, right? So we're going to jump right into this, right? What the first thing is understanding the people, the prospects, the customers, right? So if you're green in this, it's all new, right? And even if you are a seasoned veteran, you got time in, right? The people are different. Listen, people are just that. They're different. But different people shop for different type of products. Listen, I don't make the rules. I just know how to play the game. In most cases, the individual that you would run into in a Mercedes-Benz showroom is different than the individual you would run into in a Mazda showroom, a Hyundai showroom, a Toyota showroom, right? Come on, you can't argue that. As much as it shouldn't be, it is that way, right? So if you're used to selling high-end products and you're moving over to a different type product, hell, even within the mid-level product tiers, right, with the Hyundais and the Toyotas. I know from a good friend of mine that I worked with in Hyundai who now works with Toyotas, and I asked him this question. He said, without a doubt, they're different individuals. Whether or not, who he thinks is a better individual that he'd rather work with, that's out the window. But the fact remains is they're different. What they think, what they're there to do, everything that they're thinking about them and everything. Listen, their perception is their reality. We have to accept that. So it's important for you to understand the consumer that you're working with. Not everyone is going to be like this type of customer. I'm putting my air quotes up like you can see them, but not everybody that you come across is going to be like this type of person, this type of prospect. But a good amount of them will be, right? So it's understanding the people, understanding the customer, the type of individual that you're going to be working with in most cases. To do that is just talking to customers there, whether it be via the phone, calling up orphan customers, which is, by the way, an insanely great way for you to start building your database, which is very important just starting up within those first 90 days or within those, you've been in the business 90 years, right? You always want to be feeding and building your database. So calling up past customers that have bought there, the orphans, guy that sold them, gal that sold them is no longer with the organization, calling them up, talking to them, asking them the right questions, getting to know them, getting to understand them, right? That's number one. First thing you want to be doing, all right? This is after you ring out, you want to be ringing out every opportunity the dealer is given to you. You want to be learning this and doing your intel. If they're going to turn you loose on the floor, right, then use this opportunity to be not only a way to make money by selling the opportunities the dealer's giving you, but a way to learn and get paid damn good to really learn, right, and build your business, okay? So it's in getting to know, understand, and know the prospect, the new type of individuals you're going to be dealing with. 2 is product knowledge. Now listen, it's not like I'm giving you anything profound right here, right? Product knowledge. But you got to know this. You got to know this inside and out. You are the professional, right? Listen, the average person that you're going to talk to that's in there that's looking to do business, looking to hook up on a new car, they buy this and do this every 3 to 5 years. They buy a new car. So like most of the statistics say, right? But listen, you do this every day. This is your house, right? They're in your house. Now, I'm not saying you use that to take advantage of them, manipulate them, but they're going to go along with you if you take it that way, that they're in your house. You're the professional. And to do that, you have to know your product line inside and out and not know it the way the manufacturer teaches it with stupid measurements and stupid stats and stupid things that, people don't really give a shit about. If the manufacturers were all good at selling cars, bro, they'd be set up like Tesla, like the Apple Store. They'd be direct-to-retail organizations, right? Manufacturer to retail. What's stopping that is that they don't know how to sell cars, hence why they publish brochures. As one of my oldest, someone I've learned from for a long time, and who I consider a friend, Jim Ziegler, the alpha dog, always says, he says, man, the brochure is nothing but a blowout package. Being that guy sitting there, boom, 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 stapling your business cards to the brochure. Those things are designed to blow people out. No, what you need to understand the product is the way the consumer looks at it. What they find valuable in the product, what they look at the product, the stuff they're looking at to get educated about the product. Because, they look at the manufacturer sites, but, bro, you got to understand they're going to the Motor Trend, the Cars and Driver, all these different third-party reviewers. That's where we live in. Just like when you do business and buy anything else, you're not looking at that business's testimonials that they have that they're providing you. Or their manufacturer. No, third parties, people reviewing it. And not only that is you can see what they're highlighting, the parts of the vehicle that they are highlighting, that they are putting emphasis on, that they are excited about, because that means the consumer's excited about that. And then they give you a good idea on the parts that you should highlight during your presentations and when you're trying to sell the value to your prospect, right? So it's product knowledge, but outside of what the freaking OEM gives you. Because they're going to give you whatever. That's like when you go to church, like they don't try to sell you on a different church. I'm not trying to get religious and not putting down religion in any way, but like they're not like, hey, you might, no, like you know that info is all about that. You got to get third party, hear the language they're using, what they're highlighting, what they're getting excited about, and what they don't like about it too. Because telling somebody what you don't like about your own product, that builds trust, and is not for everybody. It takes a certain oomph to take it there, but it works. Trust me. So get your product knowledge up. Watch all the videos on YouTube. Watch all the third-party reviews from actual media outlets that people follow. I'm not saying watch, Jim Bob's review of the same vehicle from the dealer in the boonies, 2 towns over. No, I'm saying the viral, the major media outlets, not even major, but just like media outlets that get a lot of attention in the auto industry within both car shoppers, car consumers, right? So product knowledge. Next is going to be your preparation for every type of situation and position that you're going to go in, meaning objections, complaints from this customer. Now, you might have a whole way of handling them. If you're new, then it's all new. Like I said, this is great. If you're seasoned, this is where it can become a conflict for you because you have what works. You're like, man, I have these word tracks, these ways of handling these objections, these barriers, these complaints. But listen, if the person is completely different and it's a whole different culture and environment, like what worked there will not necessarily work. In most cases, it won't work. I mean, think about it. Because different people are different, and what works there doesn't work here. Come on, we all know that. So it's important to go in, and this is one of the best things that I ever learned. When I first got into automotive sales, I'm probably not even 60 days green at this time, right? And somebody gives me a Grant Cardone burned ass illegal bootleg copy of one of his products, right? My first introduction to it. Needless to say, I never gave this product back because even the kid that gave it to me, he was gone a couple weeks later and he never hit me up about it. So I listened to this thing over and over and over and over and over again. It didn't come out of rotation, right? And one of the things on there that he talked about was the objections log, your objections manual. And this is something that I kept with me throughout my career in retail and automotive, that every encounter I had with a customer, not just in the showroom, in my face on the lot, no, over the phone, over email, over text, over at the, I met them at the bar, on the lot, in the showroom, on the demo, everywhere, and they had an objection or complaint or something where they're trying to talk themselves out of it, or something that's not progressing this process in the direction that I know is best for them and obviously for myself. But again, they come first, right? But nonetheless, I would write down then different responses based off the training that I received from Grant and then from the Zigglers and from all the other sales training that I was consuming. And I would reference that, and I would formulate the responses as Grant taught me to how to handle each of those situations if they arise again in the future, right? And I would formulate those, and then the killer, the thing that a lot of you won't do, that it's not the coolest thing, it's not the funnest thing, but it pays out, is role play. Practice, drill, and rehearse. You got to role play it, man. You got to get it down. You got to get it to where you're fully prepared for every possible situation and position that is mathematically possible. Not even mathematically possible, but just by the law of numbers that you encounter on a consistent basis with the individual shopping your product. Within your first 30 days, you're going to have it all. You just got to formulate the right responses, tweak them, test them, tweak them as need be until you find it, and it's gold when you do. Because then your process, and this isn't in a way to manipulate or be fake, but you need to be calculated on how you operate and execute and function when you're with a customer or talking on the phone with a customer or via email or via text. Any commonalities, any way that you're used to things going. If they go this way, you know how to react, what to bring back to the table to keep it alive, to keep the deal alive, right? All right, so let's recap, because this is all about, man, the Car Pro Insider is all about feeding you something good, something I think is valuable. Maybe you don't find value in this particular episode, but last one you did, the next one you did, I guarantee somewhere along the lines you're going to get something out of it. And if this isn't you, you're not green, you've been settled in, you're dug in right in your store, got your clientele, got your business inside a business rolling, good. Salute to you, man. That's awesome. There's be plenty more episodes that are directed and targeted towards you. But this one here, man, share it with the new guy or gal in the dealership. Somebody new coming and give them some good direction, man. Do that good, right? And give, and you will receive back, at minimum, right? At minimum. So anyway, let's recap quick. So it all starts with, listen, don't pay and don't invest all of your major assets, your most valuable assets, time, money in business, rather, time, money, and creativity into creating opportunities and leads and prospects when you're not fully prepared to handle them yet. Practice on the opportunities the dealership is going to deliver you. They're going to pay to deliver you. That's the beauty of this game, man. They'll pay to bring you people in front of you to sell and then pay you for selling them. All right. So don't get into that. Start with first, then understanding the consumer. Whether you're green and their first time in the business, green in the business, brand new, fresh out the box, or you get some time in and it's a whole different manufacturer, a whole different level of vehicle, you know what I mean? Class of vehicle, class of manufacturer, then get to know the people, get to know the customers. That starts with interacting with them. You can interact with them, of course, live on the showroom via answering inbound calls, via emails, internet leads, and then also dialing out on those orphan owners, right? Next is your product knowledge. Become the expert that they expect you to be, because they buy a car every 3 to 5 to 6 years. You do it every single day. They're in your house, your home field, right? To become the expert of your product line that they expect you to be. Know your make and models, know the new features and even old features, but the features, safety, technology, performance, whatever. Just make sure you know them, know how to highlight them, calculate and plan out your presentations based on the responses you get and the presentations and things you've tried, and take note of the reactions from the consumers, and then start making your presentation like the same but different for each model and based off of each individual's hot points. Right. And that just comes from fact finding. And I hope we don't have to go into that right now, because that stuff's kind of boring to me, to be honest. Although it's important, but I don't get fueled talking about. So that's understanding what their problem is and then having the solution to solve it, and then have a calculated process and steps and performance that chances are going to convert them into choosing you to solve their problem, to be their solution, right? So product knowledge, get it from the net, get it from the third parties, get it from the populars like the Motor Trend, the things that consumers are actually consuming and giving credibility to, right? Next is going to be your all around preparation, your ability to close, overcome objections, delays, procrastinations, lies, whatever, is being able to be prepared for all of them when they come out. Again, in your first 30 days, you're going to get probably every objection that the majority of the consumers that shop your product are going to deliver to you on a day-to-day basis. So all you got to do is document them, formulate responses, practice, drill, and rehearse, and test and tweak, right? That's it. All right, listen, that's number 4, episode 4 of the Car Pro Insider, my first solo album, Robert Wiseman. Hey, listen again, if you haven't subscribed yet or haven't hit a review, wherever you can find podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, of course, iTunes, hit it up, write me a review. That means a ton to me. Share it with anybody that you know that would be valuable to. That I would definitely appreciate. And then all the notes and any links or any resources talked about in today's session will be available at robertwiesman.com/4 for episode 4. All right, guys, have a this is May 9th right now when this first was published. So have a great rest of the month, and we'll hook up next Monday. Take care.